Here we are for part 2 of the rant, probably the most popular part of the racing rants, the second part where we talk a lot of shit, read your emails, which are generally all pretty good.
Yeah, Nev, sorry, firstly I wanted to kick off with, I did mention Dicko earlier, and he said to me, you know, like I really liked this horse when it was 550 and now it's 370, so I've gone off it. And he posed the question, which I know people have varied opinions of, as do you switch your tips based on price? I mean, sorry, do you go from backing a horse because it's a price to not backing a horse because it's short?
I think my advice and through my experience would be, see now I bookied for 18 months and I've bet for 38 years. And when I've really liked a horse, I've put a price in my head that I like it. And then even if it just firms out of this world to like a really shorter price, you'll find that it could even go around a loser for me. And out of the group of like me, Sean, Kingsley, Dr. Nick, all the big punters from the 20 years ago, they're all untold multis, and I'm just trying to find out if Woolworths gives out food stamps for Christmas. And I think they go with it.
They go with it.
And I've tried to take more of the booking, more the mathematical approach and go, no, I'm going to lay it now. And I'm the most unsuccessful to them, like by 10,000 times. So I'd say my advice would be that if you like it at 550 and you think it's a real good thing and it's into 370, you still put your money on.
Yeah, well, how I would describe
it's not the old way.
How I would describe it was that if you really think the horse is a 550 chance, but you really like it, back it like a 550 chance. So you're copying the fine for it being a shorter price. So you make more money the better price you get.
Look, you could also, it depends on whether you're going to respect other people's opinions or not. The fact that it's been backed into 370 pretty much implies that other smart people are interested in backing it as well, which means you could have another look at the price you initially assessed it at and actually adjust.
That's true.
Saying there's good information here that this is actually a really good chance, I will adjust my price.
All the time, Gord, and it's credit to you because you take on board other people's opinions. But when you're a total, like, up yourself psychopath like I am, I think everybody else's opinion is you are all fucking idiots and I'm the only one who knows. And obviously when you look at the history of the balance sheet, I am a dickhead. Because I don't listen to anybody, on any person that I see bet a horse. Kingsley backs also, I go, really Kingsley, how do you find your fucking way home? He lives in a $9 million home at Centennial Park. I'm living out the front of his place.
But I'll decide when I'm going to listen to them and when I'm not going to listen to them. Because sometimes they back a particular horse and I think, well, I disagree with you.
It's like the last race at Canterbury, they'll back in Satirical Magic.
Which was fence on Friday at Gosford or Wine or something like that. It had none. But they were backing it. But I didn't care on that occasion.
Yeah, but I always think, you know what I'm saying, you take on board other people's opinions and I think it helps you. I think everyone is a dickhead.
That's it. Like the amount
it doesn't help me.
Yeah.
So there's that line, isn't there?
For me, if you've got a strong opinion on it, it's the other way too. Let's not just talk about the firmers. Let's talk about the blowers. If a horse blows and I like it, I just back it again and get my average price higher.
Which is an interesting conundrum because if you manage to predict the market and only back it when it's blown out, maybe you should have more on it then.
Well, by your previous thing, you should actually have more than what your initial stake was because of the...
Lots of thoughts. Honestly, email in with your thoughts on how to attack a horse that you think is too short but you really like.
And I'll probably think you're a dickhead.
Nev, he was straight on the front foot last Monday after the show. He said, boys, after watching a Die Hard movie on Monday night, I flicked between channels.
There's not much on TV these days, guys. I'm telling you, there's not much on TV.
Well, Gord, I don't know if you noticed, but the TV's come down.
Oh, has it? Is it gone? A no TV household.
Well, yeah.
You've only got 17 other electrical devices.
The in-laws.
There's not much on TV, guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this movie. It was on Saturday night, The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, it's classic.
Like, I thought it...
Best movie ever.
Yeah, but you can't watch it for the 432nd time.
Oh, yeah.
I actually watched it. every time they opened their mouth, I was speaking their words.
Were you doing the voiceover with Morgan?
Okay, I flicked between channels, went to 528 Sky Racing. They had a program, the name of which I don't remember. The host was Jamie Rogers, who Glenn used to be sweet on, of The Tab.
She's unwatchable.
They were reliving memorable... You were sweater on once, weren't you?
She was blonde. I used to, you know, I've never had a blonde.
They were
I've
reliving...
never had one blonde.
You've only had 2.
Yeah, but you think one could have been blonde? As a kid growing up, all I thought...
Well, maybe you can ask
I thought,
Anna.
look at these blondes down the beach. I'm going to rape and pillage a million blondes. I never got
It's
one.
going to be a classic Saturday.
So you ended up having a blonde.
Hey, Mark.
Had a blonde.
On Wednesday or Saturday, Anna will rock up with the bleached hair.
No, she won't. Let's go on. You know, I love talking.
Okay, they were reliving memorable racing moments of the guests. She passed to someone called Erin Molan from Channel 9. Who's she? Newsreader or something?
She's the blonde footy show host.
Oh, okay.
She's unwatchable.
To
as
tell
well.
her,
Unwatchable.
to tell her memorable moment about black caviar. Miss Molan then said that she'd never saw black caviar run, but one day she was driving on the road and the cars had stopped to listen to black caviar run. She'll remember that day forever and pass it on to her children. Just thought I would share this moment with you.
Oh my God.
Honestly, it's Sky. How do you put this on TV? Yeah, I think
The
they just...
TV is pretty bad now. I was in the fish and chip shop yesterday and Channel 9 was on. And it's, how do you watch that?
But don't you
It's
think
unwatchable.
Sky's getting worse? You know, like
Sky's getting worse.
we haven't talked about it for a while, but TVM was such a better station,
Yeah.
and they're gone now, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know. But we used to complain about them. Well, they were far superior to what they're actually dishing out these days.
On that subject, there was a tweet from Glenn, our mad tweeter. He said, how is it possible that that girl is getting worse? Inane post-race interviews, rubbish parade talk, hashtag Jizzy Lelfs.
Is that the girl-
Unlistenable.
She's the English girl that used to be,
in the mounting yard now?
she used
She's
to be
bet
David
sick.
Hayes's...
yeah.
She's a very nice style of girl, and she's trying really hard.
She seems like a really lovely person. I don't want to say anything bad about her because she's nice, but
Well, so you can't say bad
grammar-
things about nice people?
Well, her grammar isn't even that good either.
She's a pommy, isn't she?
Yeah, she's bummy.
She's a pommy. Geezers can't talk proper Australian. Oh, God. Is that racist? Geezers can't talk proper Australian.
What a piss take. We actually speak English, don't we?
Yeah,
And
but
yeah.
not like, go over to England and you talk Australian.
Yeah, it's not much good, is it? Hi, Mark and team. I do most of my betting in Queensland using modified Don Scott ratings and backing overlays. Well, that ties in with our opening subject. Over a long period of time, I've found the track, as in where it is, to be the most important factor influencing my performance. My most predictable slash successful tracks have always been the bigger ones, where the best rated horses, not necessarily favourites, generally win. In order, Sunshine Coast, Eagle Farm, the old track, and Doomben. I struggle to win at smaller tracks like Ipswich, Toowoomba and the Gold Coast, especially when the rail's
Well, a
out.
lot of people struggle with the small tricks.
Rockhampton has been suggested to me in Queensland as showing some promise. In New South Wales, perhaps Scone, Goulburn and or Newcastle.
All very, very fair tracks, those three.
In Vic, Flemington and or Sandown. What do you reckon, Gord, about track configuration?
I wouldn't say it's so much about... if the way he's doing his form is obviously to find the strongest horse.
Yeah.
And that's his angle as far
Yeah,
as
but
betting's
also
concerned.
the bigger
so-
tracks like that, it's hard to hide the dead in.
I'm not into this.
No, well, also, it's all...
thing so much.
I'm just saying
smaller tracks, it's about configuration and running, you know...
If you're on a
in
6 to 4
run.
chance and it's a small track, it's easy to make a bird of it.
Look, it sort
Yeah,
of
64
depends. Like, so in certain circumstances, you can adjust, can't you? Because let's say it's not one of those ridiculous fence on fire rail out days at Gosford, then sitting sort of like wideish and slingshotting around the home turn is advantageous. So the strongest horse can still do that.
Those tight tracks act like Moonee Valley, good Moonee Valley,
Yeah.
on those occasions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you've actually sort of got to have talent to cope with that setup.
Yeah. And weakness
Totally.
will be exposed.
Yeah.
I'd suggest the fact is that what you're looking at, or the reason why the results are in this way, is because the way you do form actually lends itself more towards particular tracks.
Yeah.
Whether that be the
I would
smaller
say,
tracks or
you
the
know what
bigger
I'd say
tracks.
also? I'd say that the higher rating form comes out of the bigger tracks because they tend to be Saturday tracks.
And if you notice, like the better trainers don't mind sending their horses to the tracks out wide that are big and nice.
Yep.
Because they think it's a good experience for them. So, you know, like Goulburn, for example.
But why
will be a
isn't
higher
Goulburn
level of
form
country.
better? Because it seems such an attractive option. Such an easy drive from Warwick Farm.
Very easy
Like,
drive.
that's got to be the easiest horse float experience of all time.
You have a look at, like today at Goulburn, for example, you've got a lot of your big jockeys down there. You've got some of the city stables sending horses down there. I'm looking forward to betting there for sure.
Looking forward to betting there, but the form won't be any good. It's Goulburn.
Well, I know you're really against Goulburn, but...
No, I don't want to be. I want to say Goulburn's good, but it disappoints me.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying you've got a few local trainers that have the advantage of being at their home track that aren't much good.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like
and the
skewing
other
the
thing
form.
is that the city trainers are sending their horses there. They're not
That's
much good.
yeah.
Cheers and thanks for producing a great show from Michael. Thanks for Michael. Barry Moyer, a very nice tribute here. He said, last Saturday, that was Randwick Saturday, race 5, I had Mike's special My True Love with a roughie to have a small bet each way Natoya, because I put Natoya in my staking plan. Took the first 4 with My True Love to win, a few to run second, number 9 was one of them, Natoya, plus I had $10 each way at $41, runs third and I have the field for fourth, 50% of a nice dividend, thank you.
Oh, you thank yourself, Barry. You copped Mark's information, but as
Yeah,
all
but you
opposed,
handled it beautifully.
you handled it really well.
Yeah.
So you should
And
thank
I
yourself.
tell you what, 50%, I reckon the divvy would have been fairly decent. Did anybody look that up? Would have
I'd
been
say it would
massive.
be about 4,000, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's short. Is it short? Steve writes, I watch your show on YouTube from afar in Monaco.
Monaco.
I'm an
Monaco.
Australian who's lived abroad for a decade.
See, another good
Did
Aussie.
you get there when you went to?
Yeah, I went to Monaco.
Yeah.
I was at the tables.
So
I've been racing at almost 50 race courses outside of
Craps, was
Australia.
Oh, shut up. Fucking Monaco. I walked through the joint, I couldn't get there quick enough.
Well, I tell you what, we've got, he's obviously there to avoid paying tax. That's the only reason why people live in Monaco.
And he's been racing almost 50 race courses.
I caught the recent email from a punter asking about what an individual can do to promote you guys. Is there a solution to that?
Fuck, we need a solution, I'm telling you.
I'm from
Eating the paint off the wall.
I'm from Victoria and don't bet on Sydney races. In fact, I rarely bet at all. But your fantastic show covers various racing topics and is very informative.
We are informative.
Have you noticed a lot of those
It hasn't
YouTube
finished
things?
yet. He's wrapping us. Let us keep going.
Oh, okay.
As an Aussie living abroad,
Can't we have a segue?
I think I'm one of many who longs for some racing discussion and chat from home. In comparison to a UK racing show I used to watch every Saturday morning on TV called The Morning Line, you guys are well ahead of that.
Thank
and
you.
they had the luxury of a studio, well-paid presenters, a production crew, and easily accessible jockeys, trainers.
This costs a bit of money. Don't worry about that.
Thanks for your time, efforts, and passion to bring something to the table. You guys could easily be on Australian TV. No, thank you. Informing punters instead. Sending you good luck from the south of France.
South of France is nice. I've been to the south of France. I loved it. Thanks, Steve. That was
Yeah.
a really nice email, wasn't it?
Oh, isn't it great these days? You can be anywhere in the world
And watch us.
and and bet, you know, and
Yeah,
bet
it
on,
is
you know,
like-
get involved with Australian racing and still bet on it. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I'm
outstanding.
thinking like, you know,
Bet
if
there
the baby doesn't come in the near future, that Robin and I just sort of travel around. And I'll just punters on. We're travelling around the world.
what about your
Hey,
relatives?
You have a baby.
I've been trying for ages. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were against it.
Oh no.
The ginger nuts aren't working. Well, the first thing, well, if you stop smoking, it might help.
Lifestyle advice from Pollock.
By the way,
Drinking a stand of alcohol, getting blind.
I hardly smoked until I came on this show.
You've only,
Driven me to
you've probably
nicotine.
only just given away the sausages the last 5 years.
Oh, geez, maybe I've got to go like Mark and look like skinny and healthy. And what is it? The no
Well, then,
carb diet
then
or
you
something
produce
like
good
that.
semen and you'll be able to knock her up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, bullshit. You know what a kid is. If you had a kid, you'd bet it.
Anthony writes, hi guys, I live in Perth, have a bet every weekend with a small bank, as the bank has me by the balls. That's the other bank. I work 50 hours a week in a fruit shop.
You
so
know,
just
when I
about
read
like-
this, I was so jealous. Like, I would love to work 50 hours a week in a fruit shop, just polishing apples and fucking putting them. It wouldn't be that bad. Good on you.
You could do the deliveries as well.
It's a fucking great. Like, you just get what would he get? I don't know, 2,000 a week. How much do you get for 50 hours in a fruit shop? 3,000 a week, and you just like polish the apples up, and then you'd rob the till a bit, and then you'd all free fruit.
I just love your perspective on wages as well. Just like bus drivers, they're on 400,000 a year. People who polish apples are on 3,000 a week. Like,
I think you that free.
I follow the
What do they
tips and watch the show every week, and I get a good laugh from Glenn's stories, also Mark's insights into racing. Thanking you for the show and many winners.
Oh, that's another nice email, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was so jealous. I'd love to do 50 hours a week in a fruit shop and just, I don't know, you'd perv the shearers, polish the apples up, you'd rob the till. You have to.
Yeah.
It's all cash. You're getting 200 a day extra for yourself. There's another 1,000 a week. Now you're on 4. Flying, you are.
Wow. David Diamond, who's always at the track and very, very staunch supporter of racing and Racing RANT. And, hi guys.
He's a very staunch supporter of racing on course too.
Yeah.
And really, on course should be our main objective.
Well, it needs support, doesn't it? It needs, it's a bit like...
We've got this great product there, and the big green giant wants to get rid of all the bookies, and everyone just has a drink.
Oh, I mean,
we have
every second ad they put on is for trackside. They want to get rid of the horses as
yeah,
well.
they do.
Who plays
bloody
trackside? You know
ridiculous.
anyone that plays trackside?
I do.
Don't tell me you play it.
No, Jesus, mate.
They don't play trackside, really,
Yes,
do they?
they do.
What's wrong with them?
Yeah, but I suppose it's like putting a Keno ticket on. So what, similar mentality. Oh, for me, it's absurd. And they cheer him. They cheer him too.
Yeah, but
It's like.
Go the 4.
Yeah.
here's the thing: when you get
Stop it.
when you get the world's #1 golfer, and you need to get that golfer out to Australia from time to time,
Yes,
and you're going to pay them appearance money, aren't you?
yes.
So the racing actually needs its on-course environment.
We charge them money to come and work.
I know. It's like you actually need to be rewarded, and I think the best way to be rewarded is to actually get a better dividend. It's like if you have a bet on the track, you get a better price, which you actually do in many cases, but it's not advertised.
No.
And I
But
think
you turn with the tote as well. Maybe put 5% on the top of what you collect,
exactly
because they earn enough. And
you need
So
so on-course needs some support. Yeah. And you need to be rewarded. So
if you're $10 on it, it pays $7.40. So you get back 74. You get back another $3.70, another 5%. Just something all the time coming in.
No, but I'm saying it should be the other way around. They don't pay any commission. Get rid of the commission. There's no commission. Give them an appearance fee and that's it. See, that enables them to be more aggressive with their pricing because their overheads are less.
You're talking about the bookies?
The bookies, yeah. So I'm not saying that the person who bets gets advertised, you get 5%
well,
more or something
that's
like
one way.
I'm saying you're better off doing it that way.
So you're going to do supply side.
Yeah.
But the supply side needs a crowd to offer its supply to. So you need to boost the demand and the supply.
Well, to be honest, it should be like the bookies should have a co-op.
Well, that's
that
funny.
runs a really good.
That's
that
funny.
runs a really good pension fund.
So you still have one, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a few high-profile ex-bookies that are skulking around these days.
I'm making no comment.
No.
On people I'm jealous of.
Shouldn't they pull together the on-course bookmakers and put into a fund to advertise? And they should advertise on
The on-course
the
bookmaker
Punter
hasn't
Show
got enough
or
money.
Racing RANT or Sky Channel. And they should advertise and they should do the
Okay,
little
but
gimmicks that the corporates are doing. Like they should advertise that, you can get SP guarantee or, I don't know.
Yeah, but remember
like
when the Quinellas came in, Glenn? You know how they were going to save bookies? You could have a Quinella with a bookie.
Yeah.
But the bookies aren't well placed to help themselves in that way. You actually need, it needs to be a club initiative, and the problem is that Racing New South Wales makes all the decisions, so clubs can't really do anything. It needs to be a club initiative whereby they pay appearance fees to bookies.
Yeah.
They give punters a better price, whatever. It can extend through the amenities that the racecourse offers.
Yeah.
So David he's defying all that because he gets out to the track all the time. He says, impressions of the new monitors on course showing bookmakers' prices. The NOP, he's written NPO, ATC complete with ridiculous squiggly lines, etc. So the monitors on course are now different. They've got a different display, different format, and they've got little
graphs.
what are they called?
Graphs.
They're fluctuation lines,
line,
And they become a graph.
Yeah.
I don't mind the fluctuation line because I think that's information.
ridiculous.
It looks stupid. It's just the whole setup with the white and the way. It's just not very good to look at,
It's not,
is it?
yeah, it's not visually appealing.
Well, and you can't access the data really quickly, which is what you want.
Fuck, it's complicated.
I received an email about the changes to the prices system on course, but no information provided to the general public as far as I'm aware. I explained to at least 10 people on course how the pricing system works. Punters need to be informed and not treated like mushrooms. Painters come to the track with all these monitor changes and no explanation. Noticed a tweet from the illustrious M. Sheen stating he had to ask to have the prices at Kembla displayed. He must have been there on Saturday.
I think he was, yeah.
Get your priorities, ATC. How do you expect people to bet on Kembla without any prices being available on course? See you at the track. ATC's got nothing to do with Kembla.
Why not?
Because the ATC run Randwick, Rose Hill, Canterbury and Warwick Farm.
Yeah, but we're at Rose Hill and we want the Kembla prices. So they've got something to do with it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry, Mark Sheen was at Rose Hill. I misread this.
Yeah.
And ATC wasn't displaying the Kembla prices. You're correct.
So it's, yeah. It's like
Sorry,
ATC's
David, I
got,
misread
yeah,
that.
ATC's got something to do with the pies because they sell the pies at the ATC track.
Yeah, yeah.
If they start selling off pies and people go, oh, it's nothing to do with the ATC, that's not right.
But hang on, surely it's actually Racing New South Wales that's responsible for bringing this system in. It couldn't be the ATC because then all the other clubs would have to get into bed with the dynamic odds and do the NOP.
It's taken me 9 years to get used to the decimal price. Now we've got this new off-course fluctuation.
Hasn't it been 19 years?
Well, it's just taken me, yeah. The first 10 years was a blur.
I like it when new stuff happens because I think people make mistakes and there's angles. When
All right. So
The best,
I'm just always
the best
looking
comment I ever heard, just
pounds.
to the punters out there, about the new pricing system with the decimal points was Jeff Pendlebury once said to me when something was 310 into 290, he said they turned it from twos into twos. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
it's pretty crazy.
Great comment.
The Bookies Club, of course, was responsible for determining the gradations in that in those decimal odds.
Okay.
Look, the story with the NOP, and as is with the VOP and the QOP, Dynamic Odds is now the provider, so they've rendered the APN valueless. Remember how much the APN was worth a few years ago, Glenn?
We started the APN on Saturday at the races,
For
Sydney races. They had a price up for the on-course as well,
right.
but they only had David Dwyer or Shane Philpeck's price. Which was the best. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. Isn't it hilarious?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the NOP is provided by Dynamic Odds, who obviously collect the feed from all the corporates, and I think there is some on-course component as well. And it's the sixth best price. Sorry, when it's displayed on 6 boards, that's the price. At least 6 boards.
Okay, but no, but like the 6 tops, so 2 of them will be higher.
Yeah. So Dominic wrote in. He's always got an opinion about these things. He said, surely the 3rd best bookmaker price is deep enough to find the true price. 6th best is too low. On-course bookies marketing opportunity.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And I think they're right, because Mark Sheen tweeted on the first day, he said, race 1, AC Tong D was 480 into 460 on the NOP and was 550 with 4 bookies on the track at the same time.
Not taken.
So that would have been the old call, not taken, yeah.
Not taken, 550, plenty of it. I reckon they stayed at 550 because they kept looking at the NOP was 460. So they were desperate to go
And
650.
they still couldn't write a bet.
Yeah.
Poor on-course
I
footy.
know.
No one comes to track.
Yeah.
No one comes to the track. That's right. Well, you see that situation often also when bookies are higher, longer than Betfair, not writing a bet.
That's so sad.
I want to know how many corporates they're using. Like, are they using all the sort of smaller ones as well?
I think there's a
Plus they're using corporates that don't really bet too.
Because, there's about 25 of them. So if they're using all of them and on course,
Is there 25
6 sort of
corporates?
makes sense.
No,
Out wide ones that are so
it's
tiny.
calculated from the larger licensed wagering operators.
Okay, so they've chosen how many? I want to know who they are.
It's probably somewhere. These operators include corporate bookmakers and tab fixed odds, who combined are responsible for the majority of wagering.
Anyway, we've got a good corporate email coming up with what you're dealing with when you bet with certain corporates a bit later on. Yeah. Let's keep moving, guys, because this show's going for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Daniel Sullivan was popular because he was short and quick. They're pulling my ratings down.
Wasn't that short?
Oh, God, he's getting competitive now.
I know. Hey, boys, just wanted to get your opinion
Don't
over the
need
whip
that much.
rule. I'm guessing you saw the protest at Ballarat Race 9, where the winner won by short head, used his whip over 10 times before the 100, and the stewards could not see an advantage in it. Seems to be the only sport in the world where you can cheat, per the rule book, get a suspension and or a fine, acknowledge you breached the rules, and yet still be declared the winner.
So therefore it shouldn't be a rule. We've spoken about it 100 times. It's the most ridiculous thing, and it's gone so far now that they'll never uphold one, because if they did,
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I'd be
you
like-
just need to forget that it's a rule because it's not a rule. If
not,
they're not using it, so it's not a rule.
If they ever uphold one I'm on, I'm going
But that's
straight to
just
court
so
with a ticket.
inconsistent because
Oh,
then
it's
the
just-
jockey who's willing to do it to win the race gets his horse home, and the jockey who's not willing to do it comes second. And what about us punters?
Yeah.
So what, do I have to start going, oh, okay, well, I'm more likely to back that horse at that price because I know that jockey's willing to whip it more?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Well,
that's
Jesus
that's,
Christ.
that's a form consideration.
I know, well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Luckily, it's
life's
only in
not
staying
fair.
races where it matters, so it's irrelevant to me.
Life's
I
not
like David
fair.
Flockhart right here. Trials
Uh,
in clodhopper shoes, laugh out loud. Who was that in reference to, do you know?
Now,
That
remember I
was
said,
Mark.
you don't know whether Chris Lees is putting clodhopper shoes
Oh,
on his
so this
horses
is-
in the trial.
I knew I did the same before. Anyway.
Well, what did you make of the run of Shiraz, Gord? You liked Shiraz? It seemed okay.
Yeah, it seemed okay. It was just so weird, 1400 first start when, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, David Diamond again, he tweeted, Gordo and Glennsta will have to pull their socks up over the last two
Yeah,
shows.
I'm under pressure here.
Great informative guests, hashtag Racing Rant Pros.
Come on, Roy Key, and come Daniel, someone take my job, please.
Yeah.
Jared Neary, who's also a good fan, he says it was a real treat to watch that episode last night. Fair to say, Just Ideal has a man crush on TRB horse racing.
Who's TRB horse racing?
Daniel.
Did you have a man crush on him? You can get a bit man crushy with
Oh,
something
Mark's
new.
very
He
man
gets
crushy, yeah.
Oh, am I?
No, he's
It's
not.
just a touch.
No.
Just a touch.
Anyway, he says hashtag Doyens together. Well, look, I am a Doyen because I'm over 50, but Daniel is still in his 30s, so we better not
Is
call
he
him
in
a
his
Doyen
30s,
yet.
is he?
Yeah.
He looks awful for his age.
I don't think he's caring how he's parading.
He's parading no good there, Daniel. I hope you're happily married or happily in a relationship.
So last week we had an email about the benchmark system from Mick, and he said that the trainers will deliberately start their horses in the country to kick off with a lower benchmark rating. The prize money's not that much different. You come to the provincials, you better
it was
place.
a fantastic email, that benchmark one.
Yeah, so there's no incentive to win on debut early in career. If you give a few trials then win, then a horse can come out with a benchmark 50 in the bush and win 50, 55 times 2 and a 60 equals 56k in prize money, including the maiden, versus the debut winner of the maiden of the same ability rated 60. So he's suggesting the system is rewarding horses that aren't ready to perform. So
We've spoken
done
about
the, done the NOP pretty
Drives
much,
mad
and
Oh.
we've done that. There's the
Great sports bet email. This is the best.
Oh, this-
Hannah in at sports bet, come on the show. I love you so much now, Hannah.
I think
You
it's gotta
are.
be Hannah from Bangladesh, doesn't it? You know how they give themselves,
Just imagine
you know, white
blonde
names?
Hannah,
Yeah, oh,
like
okay,
just
oh.
like trying to position for Jamie Rogers' job,
flighty.
just parading like, oh yeah. So old mate Adam's had a bet with Sportsbet. Reading this email here, and obviously Adam, it's all in print here. He's
taken a screenshot of the chat, the live chat he's had with Sportsbet.
yeah, and one of his selections was the field. So no matter what wins that race, barring the clerk of the course winning the race, I think the field is, we all know it's the field. Dear Hannah writes this, sorry mate, I can see your bet and that you've selected the field, and I see that number 6 won. She then writes again, sorry mate, can I ask what mistake you're referring to? Adam replies, yeah, well, wasn't 6 part of the field? It had 3, 5, 9 or 12 to choose from, all field. And I selected the field, which, you know. Hannah writes back, and you're such a darling, Hannah. The field doesn't always refer to the rest of the horses, unfortunately, sorry. Then she says, the field is a group of 4 horses chosen at the trader's discretion, not just the horses listed. Hannah, you've got to come on the show. I want to take you out for a drink. You're my fucking hero.
I reckon she's a guaranteed shag.
You're a guaranteed.
manipulate.
You are such a corporate employee. I just love you dearly.
God.
Adam, that screenshot is gold, and we really appreciate things like that.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
darling Hannah thinks that it's up to the trader's discretion which numbers are in the field.
Can Adam let us know if they ended up paying him out?
Yeah,
too?
so because Adam
Yeah.
did write on Twitter, he said, can anyone please explain to me how Sportsbet can justify this? If they can't explain it to me, I'm switching to Ladbrokes.
How does he even write that? And Racing New South Wales, you've got to have a look at this. Like, there's just great value there at Sportsbet. Like, outstanding email. Hannah, hero of the week for corporate employees.
Wow.
it's just so much fun. It's so great.
Well, I've had my run-ins, and they say the most stupid things to you. You've got to get a manager.
Yeah.
I
The
think
call centre.
The call centre, no idea. They end up routing you back to like the more senior betting supervisor, and then you can sort it out.
I love Hannah. Love her. Anyway,
Well,
Yeah,
I swear
so-
to God, Hannah's speaking with an Indian accent.
Oh, no,
is 5
you don't understand.
What's your name? Oh, my name is Hannah.
she's no good to me. She's got a red dot in her forehead. But anyway, I love you anyway, Hannah.
So just to tidy up at the end, I mentioned Hearts Racing on Friday because Bill from Hearts Racing has provided Racing Out with a lot of support lately, and his site heartsracing.com.au is currently selling 2 yearlings.
Scopy.
Scopy, a Hinchinbrook filly trained by Chris Lee, so she's going to be in the same yard, same
stable.
same stable as our Lope de Vega.
Be trialling with the clodhoppers on.
So the Hinchinbrook filly, you can get a share for 500, and that share includes all expenses for 6 months, and thereafter it's $100 for each 6 months. So it's 500 gets you 6 months.
And how much
And
of a
then-
share does it get, Jamal?
That'll be on the
Obviously a
site,
small share.
and there is a PDS attached, so it's not like we're singing from the wrong songbook. And the reward for effort is the same. It's a colt, it's a brother to whoever, and it's to be trained by Darren Weir, and its shares at $350, $100 each 6 months after that, so it's a little bit cheaper.
tell you
So
what,
they're all small shares. And they give you a real lick into racing and some feedback and some interest. You know, like no one's asking for a fortune. Hopefully you get some sort of return. on
So
your money.
many blokes want to get involved in horse ownership, and what a great way to do it, you know?
Yeah, so heartsracing.com.au.
You can do it without even telling the missus, because it's so cheap. You
Why
know
do you
what I mean?
keep so much from Robin? This poor Robin, she's a battler.
Poor Robin knows
Yeah.
everything. That's why she's so happy at the moment.
You're trying to-
Off shopping all the time, Glenn.
Trying to knock her up while you drag on your 40th bunger of the day. Now, quickly, one last thing I did want to mention. Please, all the racing guys out there, the journos and that, come on. Like, egg tart is no winks. Stop it. Just stop
Talk
it.
about trying to get a story. By the
Just
way,
stop it, come on.
Thank God for Deploy Egg Tart and Bonnie O'Reilly, because
Sydney Horses.
turned
Brisbane
a very
saved you.
poor day into a decent day. So.
Anyway, great win by Egg Tart. And well done to Chris. He had 7 runners. He's the best. But even talking
Did he
about
leave
this,
any 3-year-old fillies at home?
they're all up there. Carini, battling
Oh
away
no,
at
he
hundreds.
did. He left Vanetta at Kembla.
What about? Oh, did you? What about when you're racing
or
and you
whatever
look
it
at, you know, you do all your form and you go, I'll just see if there's anything in Brisbane or Kembla like I do. Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, just like that horse. I only like Pygmy.
Yeah.
It's only I
Great
said
second, wasn't it?
$14. This is those morning like Sun Hill. Oh, it won't be that. Then you apparently watch the race. Oh, there's Pygmy, and I looked up, $41 fixed odds
Yeah.
place, $9.60, and you go, really?
Yeah,
So
but
go-
did you click?
Heapsy's tipped
No, I didn't bet.
Heapsy's tipped that as well.
Who?
Graham Hughes on the Sport and Talk 2SM.
Tipped itself.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you just have a few under on it? That's what
Because I didn't. I'm just too busy to notice. I just, you know, because I don't bet in the state. I don't bet on
Yeah, it's not
country
part
horse.
of- not part
But
of
what
your
I'm
program.
saying is,
It's not part of
when
your
something
program.
jumps off the page at you like that, why does it always?
But
and
to be honest,
email
every
us in.
time you've mentioned it to me at the races recently, the horses won or come a place at odds.
They all win when I'm not on.
So
it.
why the fuck aren't you backing them?
All right, Gord's going to have another bunker now. He's getting ready for that kid. He can have the first ever grey child.
We'll see you,
See you next
we'll see you
week.
tomorrow for a preview for Canterbury. I think Canterbury.
See you guys.
And, I'm not sure what we're doing next week, Glenn, because of course Monday Warwick Farm. It's Quinn's birthday holiday.
Oh, we'll have a break next week. I think that's only fairway. That's my option always.
We'll do the show at the track.
Yeah.
Could
We
do.
need GoPro at the track.
GoPro.
See ya.
See ya.